Hi, it's Thursday night, the 21st of May, and day 142 of Living the Dream. The power statement I wrote for today said, I'll continue to attack the remaining task list until it's finished. That's this task right here. This is just one page of it. There's 4 pages of it. It says I'm going to continue to attack that until it's done. I've got my Living the Dream coaching ideas task done here. I've got the Successful People Quotes and Stories task list done and typed up. I've started my Webmaster Developer list so that folks, who should we use locally here, I'll have that ready for them. I have the Living the Dream Coaching Lessons worksheets. There's 12 lessons, and then the little bullets show what the worksheets that go with that. It's all there, and I made sure I had them all, and they're all uploaded onto my Google Drive. And then my Journey to Business Alignment, 12 Coaching Lessons for Beginner Entrepreneurs. This is just lesson 1, and then it has all the list of bullets of the things I covered. So when I do a coaching lesson, I want you to just have that ready to go for when I coach. I want to be able to remember what I've said and some of the key points that I said during it. So bam, those are done. I prioritized my remaining task list that I typed out yesterday, and that's so I could start at the first task and do the next task and do the next task and do the next task until I get the entire 4 pages done. And that will then make it such that I can, bam, get started on building out my website because all the things are ready to go. Next, Croy asks, get honest with yourself questions. What didn't go well today, Marty, or what could you have done better? Did you wake up early and start strong? I did. Did you start your morning with power every morning? It feels so great. Such a fantastic way to start the morning and to have that 45 minutes to an hour of step-by-step and then the relaxing meditation, what I call mindfulness time. It's just so great. It gives you such power. It makes me want to jump right up and go head out to my office. Were you productive throughout your day today? I certainly was. You just saw those pieces through the portal of my mind, all typed out, ready to go. Did you get the most important things done? The first top 5, I got them done. They're gone and they're deleted. Did you move your goals forward? Yes, I did. Did you show up as the person you wanted to today? I did. And I was present with Kathleen with my personal time with her this evening. It was a lovely, lovely night. Now, combine all these questions together as one big question and ask, were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? In other words, did you keep your commitments that you made to yourself today? Well, I committed to just work from the top of the list and then just keep going until that remaining task list is done. And that's just it, period. And I got 5 of those things checked off and then I deleted them because I don't need to worry about them anymore. I kept that promise that I made to myself and I was so glad to get those tasks done. The next question is, what movies did you watch in your mind today, Marty, and did you make time for them? Well, my favorite 5 movies are always the must-watch TV experience in my mornings. And then I used my movie imagination screen on my head to show myself how I wanted these things organized on my website. And by pre-playing these kinds of thoughts and imagery so that I have a clear picture of what needs to get done, that's a powerful tool that I have available and that we all have available. The gift of imagination is incredible. Next is a question that haven't been asking myself of late, and so I thought I would start answering it going forward. Croy asked, what's the one thing that you didn't do well today, Marty, but you know you could do it better? What's that one thing that you could do better going forward? Well, I kind of moved into, as I thought about this, I do think there are several things that I can do better going forward. There's no question about that. But I think I'll mention just one of them that I would want to improve in my day. I often find myself bearing down and working hard all day long, take a quick break for lunch, come right back and bear down on it again. And I do get some reading in my book for the month done. But I know that I can read at least a full chapter every day. I just need to pause and take that time instead of just a page or 2. And that would really impact my day every day going forward and forward and forward, doing at least a chapter. So I'm going to improve that. And here's another question I've often got off track on. For some reason, I got off track on this and haven't been even asking myself this question. Were there any mistakes or did you have a failure that you can turn into a tool of success going forward? Well, you remember I used to always ask that. I'm not sure. I think I might have had a day or 2 that I didn't have any real failure, at least not in my mind. And so I forgot to add that, and then I've just not been doing it. So I'm going to get back on track. And so I'm asking myself, as far as today went, the failure that comes to my mind is the fact that I got off track and didn't correct it until just now. So the tool of success, I think, is to check my mental GPS. We all have a mental GPS. So I'm going to check that daily. And right now it's my to list, and as I get into a habit, then I'll do it automatically. But I'm going to check my mental GPS list to see if I've asked all the right daily checklist questions. If I had corrected myself and left that question on, I think would have stayed on track far better than I've been doing over the last several weeks. Next is a question Corey asked, is I haven't been asking myself as well. I say that because in listening to my end of the day success routine audio, I realized that I had turned this question into coming up with the power statement step instead of what's that one thing that I could do better from what I didn't do well today and make sure I do it going forward. And so here's what I thought. This may seem like a small thing, but I think if I do it better and going forward with it, it's going to be fantastic. I will have far less space issues with my laptop by doing this. And looking at my inbox for my emails each day, I delete the junk mail ones, but I think I save far too many emails that I don't really need, and it starts to pile up. So I'm going to take just a few more minutes every day, every morning, to determine if I really need to keep the emails after I read them and say, okay, why would I want to keep them? And if not, delete it. I know there's certain information I like to save, but I save far too many. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. I'm going to eliminate many more of those emails. Next, Corey asks, if this was the only thing you get done tomorrow, even if your day went sideways getting it done, but you still feel like a success, what would that one thing be? And put it into a power statement for tomorrow. So my power statement for tomorrow says, I will start at the top of the remaining task list and work to get many of those tasks done as I can today. I know one of them may take some real considerable time as I've looked that over, and so I'm not saying I'm going to get 6 done today or 5 done, because I don't know on some of them how long they're going to take, but I will work hard and stay at it, press, and get as many done as I can. Once they are done, I have been deleting them, and that makes that list going smaller and smaller as I go along. One day, there won't be a list. I think I will save the list, though, at the end of the day and date it, so if I need to go back on certain days and look and see what I had, because I have a half a list down here a week now from now, I won't remember many of those things, so I'm glad I'm going to date them and save them. I'm not quite ready to do my focus group yet either, but I have to get a questionnaire ready to go for them. But I'm almost done with getting all of the worksheets cleaned up and up onto my Google Drive. But I want to have a branding for them so that each one, they know they're part of the Living the Dream coaching package, and they're a worksheet part of it. So I want it to look nice instead of just a worksheet here and a worksheet there. So I'm working to get that done, and then I'll do that focus group, and it's going to be great. Next is rate my day's effort. Well, I gave another 8 for today. I say 8 because I typed at the speed of 10 all day today, and when it was all said and done, I had 5 tasks all completed and typed out and ready to go off the remaining task list. And each of them were important. I'm glad I got them done, but I could have done more, and I feel like a 10 would have been more of those gotten done. So I made it an 8. Okay, let's end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. First of all, I'm grateful for big-hearted people. I say that because I found out from my daughter, who's living in Texas, she's a single mother of 5, that she decided that she was moving back to Utah, and a really sweet, big-hearted woman, such a heart, who is her neighbor in Austin, paid for 2 large pods of stuff so that she could unload her house and put them into those pods and travel here, and she paid the cost for that to get her to be able to come to Utah. And so she's on her way to Utah, and those pods are going to land in Salt Lake and sit there when she's trying to find a specific home. So she's Airbnb-ing it for a week, and they're going to store it in there in Salt Lake. And it's paid for a month, and it's just an amazing thing. That's such a kind, big-hearted act of kindness, I have to tell you. I was so grateful for that woman's support and love for Rebecca. So that's just great. Big-hearted people. I hope you're one, and I hope I can be one like that. Next, I'm grateful for the law of thinking big. Where success is concerned, people are not measured in inches or pounds or college degrees or even family backgrounds. They're measured by the size of their thinking. Lastly, I'm grateful for the principle of statement of success. It says, how big we think determines the size of our accomplishments. How big we think determines the size of our accomplishments. Have you ever asked yourself, what is my greatest weakness? Probably the greatest human weakness is self-depreciation. That is, selling oneself short. For example, a man sees a job advertisement in the paper. It's exactly what he'd like to be doing, but he doesn't do anything about it because he thinks, I'm not good enough for that job, so why bother? Or another man may want to and date a lovely lady, but he doesn't call her because he thinks he wouldn't rate with her or she wouldn't even approve. So that's the kind of thinking that stifles us. Great philosophers have said, know thyself. But most people, it seems, interpret this suggestion to mean know only thy negative self. Myself is one who wants to think of the positive. Most self-evaluation consists of making long mental lists of our faults, our shortcomings, our inadequacies. This is an exercise we can employ to measure ourselves properly. Determine your 5 chief assets, the 5 best things about you. Number 2, under each asset, write the names of 3 persons you know who have achieved large success, but who do not have this asset as a great degree as you do. In other words, see them, see what they've accomplished, see their asset list, and realize they're great, and they don't even have the assets that you have. That should give you hope. When you complete this test, you will find that you outrank or outshine many successful people out there on at least 1 or 2 assets that you have. The conclusion then is that you're bigger than you think you are. So fit your thinking to match your true size. Think as big as you really are. Never, 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 never sell yourself short. This is part of living the dream. So there you go. I'm closing this off. I'll be right back here tomorrow night at this laptop sharing my journey to alignment. But until then, I wish you continued success. Good night. Good night, Marty.